guilty to shooting at a Minneapolis police station during the Black Lives Matter protests. He said he's part of a far-right group that wants to start a civil war and was there to sow chaos. He's an outside agitator, like Umbrella Man, or this kid in Pittsburgh who kicked in the windshield of a cop car, or the police officer who got shot in the Oakland protests was shot by a Boogaloo boy, or how Virginia police said that white supremacists disguised as Black Lives Matter started all the riots there. The list goes on and on. The Black Lives Matter protests were 93% peaceful, and more it's looking like that 7% was started by outside agitators. When the insurrection of January 6th happened, you guys were sure quick to blame Antifa and Black Lives Matter, because it's a page right out of your playbook, isn't it? Like this guy.
Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Ba'ashim, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim, Harakah Kadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of GMS. Peace, love, and salutations to the Bayah Dawadah, the house of David. I'm the brother Zion out of GMS Boston. Once again here on my channel, Lord willing, through the Spirit. Alright, this is edifying. I'm going to get right into the scriptures on this one. Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 16. 15. Woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink, that puttest thy bottle to him, and makest him drunken also, that thou mayest look on their nakedness. Thou art filled with shame for glory, drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of the Lord's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewings shall be on thy glory. Woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink, man. That drink, when we talk about philosophy, right? Let's do something real quick.
Here's the definition of philosophy: the study of the fundamental nature of knowledge, reality, and existence, especially when considered as an academic discipline.
So the study of knowledge is similar to thinking, the reason, right? The thoughts, all right? The knowledge and wisdom, right? These philosophies, these way of thinkings, right, are contrary towards the scriptures, which is the philosophy of the world, which is the philosophy of the snake, which is the idea of evil. All right. So, it says, woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink. That drink is talking about this wicked way, okay? All right, that's the drink that they put us to the bottle, making him drunk. So when you get this warped, wicked way of thinking, what happens is, your thoughts always turn into your words turn into actions. Your actions become your personality, and your personality is your character, is who you are and what you perceive and what you give out. Those things are all cohesive with, the vibration you push. And then collectively what happens is you're perceived as a nation, So what somebody else does, it directly affects you, especially your lineage, your intermediate lineage, meaning your mother, your father, your son. In the ancient world, you was able to stone your son because what you were doing when you was ridden that shame from your family. And even when my grandparents was growing up, you couldn't be out in the streets cussing and doing certain things because, you would be tied back to your father, tied back to your mother, tied back to your grandmother. So you wanted to make sure your name was clean. So the way the people think in this world, the American way of thinking, the capitalist society, what they would call racism, being racist towards so-called black, the hatred that they have, which is really, it's just a justification for why a brute beast or savage would do something, so-called racism and the accusing us, right? We're going to go there. We're going to go back to Habakkuk. The accusations, I'll give you an example, right? When you're dealing with Gad, they had to say, they had to come up with an excuse for why the so-called white man was so savage, why they were so ruthless, why they dealt so treacherously, and to justify themselves and to justify what they did, they say, they were savages, they were nobody, they were brute beasts, they were animals. We had to train them. Okay, same thing like in the Middle East. They're terrorists. They're all terrorists, and that gives them justification for doing what they did. Uh, Revelations chapter 12. Verse 10, and I heard a loud voice, a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength in the kingdom of our Lord and the power of Yahushua, the kingdom of the Lord and the power of the power of his Christos, which is anointed, Hamashiach. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our power day and night. You see, this is an accuser. Let's look at this.
Here's the definition of accuser: a person who claims that someone has committed an offense or done something wrong.
So a person who claims that somebody has committed an offense or has done something wrong. And then in this case, you got people who are doing something wrong, right? And blaming it on another group of people. All right, so that group of people could receive the punishment. And that's not how law and punishment goes. Law and punishment goes, if you commit a crime, you do the time, right? There's a law, so there's something that you're not allowed to do, and if you do it, there's a consequence for breaking that law. All right? And there's also something that's called entrapment. Back to the definition.
Here's the definition of entrapment: the state of being caught in or as in a trap.
Right, the action of tricking someone into committing a crime in order to secure their prosecution, right? And then when you go into the
Here's the definition of prosecutor: a person, especially a public official, who institutes legal proceedings against someone.
All right, so when you commit a crime in order to prosecute somebody else, to frame somebody, this is a high level offense. Okay? Woe unto them that giveth his neighbor drink, that putteth thy bottle to him, and maketh him drunken also, that they may look upon their nakedness. So they say, see, they want to justify what they're about to do. And I say what they're about to do because they're going to come down hard on Jacob. But what they're doing is they're building a case in public opinion. All right? They're setting the stages for it. Because, you see, this montage of separate incidences that was put together from somebody of these so-called white agitators, okay? These, Civil War starters, if you will, fire starters, accusers, framers, okay? This isn't pushed on the mainstream media. And what is the media? Mass forms of communication, all right, to let the world know what's been going on. And through the spirit, we've been doing videos, but our videos doesn't reach the masses of the world like it doesn't have the ability that Edom has, right, to reach everywhere and with top speeds. Newspapers, for instance, we don't have newspapers and billboards, and we can't take out articles and things of that nature. So they're not gonna put this out there because it's gonna make them look bad, right? But what they're doing is, what they want to do is they want to say, look, these niggas have been shooting at police officers. They've been rioting. They've been breaking glasses and destroying property. We got to come down. We got to stop this, But it says, thou art filled with shameful glory, drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. Meaning let them be exposed, all right, for the things that they're doing. That same cup, that same philosophy, that same way of thinking, that same wickedness, let them be exposed. And they've been doing this for years. They've been putting drugs, entrapment, putting drugs in the communities, and then, you know, basically rigging the economy, especially going back to the 80s with Reaganomics, destroying the economy, you know, cutting welfare, flooding the streets with drugs, and then, you know, obviously people are going to bite that cheese that's set on that track to survive, to make money. You had a crack epidemic that ran wild, which really destroyed, all right, the Judite communities and Ephraimite communities, and throw them in jail, call them the biggest drug dealers when you were the ones who put the guns and put the drugs in the neighborhood. You set up a system in which women cannot obtain help if they couldn't obtain housing, food stamps, child support, spousal support, if they didn't divorce their husbands, if they were married in a unit. And then you set up this whole system. You say, look, the so-called black man is a deadbeat dad. You're looking upon our drunkenness, you know. So you set this thing up, man, and the Lord is watching. Okay? The Lord is watching, and you won't get away with this, man. You will not get away with it. You may fool people, all right, which we don't give a shit about, okay, because the Heavenly Father is on high. He sees and he knows everything that you're doing, and he's going to come down and lay down a hammer on you goddamn Edomites, all right? And you Jakes, man, don't fall for the traps and the snares, man. Don't fall for these marches and anything Esau sets up the so-called white man, liberal, conservative, all right? I don't care if you've known him for 20 years or he's a good guy, if they voted for Obama or Biden or Trump, or it doesn't matter, man. You know, the hell with these people. Leave these people alone. Right? The book of Sirach, I'll close on this. Chapter 12, verse 10. Never trust thy enemy, for like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness. You know, the extent that these Edomites are due to throw shame on us is unbearable. You know, Jake ain't dressing up in fucking, Make America Great Again hats and going to Trump rallies and breaking shit up and trying to make them look bad. We don't need to do that. You know, you devils look bad enough on your own. You know, you got to be a certain type of devil. All right, and this is all with the CIA, you know, the FBI. They call it economic hitmen. This is all that they do. You know, this is all that they do. This is what they're about. They're about this life, man. You had this water filterization corporation that was in South America, was trying to make a bid, you know, to the South Americans. It was a particular country, and you know, they basically refused it. And what did they do? They went and polluted the water. They went and polluted the water to force people to buy their fucking water. That is what you call, you know, spiking the punch. You know, you go to a party and there's a punch bowl, you know, Kool-Aid in it. You know, and you put you go in there and you spike it with vodka. You know, and people are drinking, thinking that they're drinking Kool-Aid, and they're drunk, and then you come in with the hammer. Oh, underage drinking, kids are drunk, intoxicated, locking people up. Like, you're a fucking devil. All right? You're a devil. All right? Shalom.